What's going on, everyone? Happy Sunday to everyone. Hopefully everyone is doing well and having a great weekend so far. It is time now for the Sunday weather and climate update for Sunday, June 9th, 2024. If you're new to my channel, this is where we talk about the climate around the world and give the weather forecast for the United States. So if you're new, subscribe down below. Give this a thumbs up, hit that notification bell, share this with anyone you know, and leave your comments down below. Starting off today, looking at the satellite picture, we can see there is a frontal boundary moving through the northeast that is providing some moderate to even localized heavy rainfall for portions of Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts. There's even some showers back to the southwest of that. We had some showers here within the last hour in Philadelphia. And this frontal boundary, as it moves back southwestward, it does move more to the west, and it did cause some heavy rainfall overnight tonight across portions of Missouri. That is slowly moving southeastward, and it is going to weaken somewhat. But south of that, you do see the sun is out in places like Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, and even in Texas as well. You're seeing some sunshine this morning. That means instability is increasing, and we'll have to watch for the risk of thunderstorms. Taking a look now at the radar picture, you can see here, the west coast is not all that active right now. Here's that rainfall that I was talking about that's ongoing in New England this morning. Even Connecticut, you're seeing some showers and some more steady to moderate rain up in Maine and portions of New Hampshire. And then coming back to the southwest, here's that area of heavy rainfall that was in Missouri. It's raining this morning in southern Illinois and western Kentucky. And you can see in Arkansas, northern Arkansas, you do have some thunderstorm activity still with this right now, and that is pushing into Tennessee. Taking a look at the National Hazards Map, there are still flash flood warnings that are in effect and flash flood watches in effect for portions of Missouri, and there is also still some flash flood warnings and flood warnings that are ongoing in Kansas as well. In the southwest U.S., it's heat that's going to be the problem for you, and with that, you're going to see heat indexes well over 100 degrees, especially in portions of Arizona, Nevada, even in California. You are going to see some very hot weather over the next several days. There is a heat advisory up in Florida, and there also is a hydraulic outlook. Why are they talking about rainfall? Well, because there could potentially be heavier rainfall in Florida as we head into next week. We'll talk about that in a little bit. First, let's go back to yesterday. There was just one tornado reported yesterday, and that was in Colorado. And then in Kansas, there also was some hail reports, and mainly wind reports was the big deal for you yesterday in Kansas. So far, there have been 126 severe storm reports from yesterday. Taking a look at what happened today, and we can see here that today there is going to be a slight risk of severe weather across portions of Arkansas, Mississippi, southern Tennessee, and portions of western Alabama. However, I don't 100% fully agree with this because there's some modeling that suggests maybe storms will be a little more organized, continuing a bit further east, and I'll show you why on the models in just a moment. First off, taking a look deeper into the convective outlook, marginal risk even back across portions of the Rockies, snaking its way down into Texas, surrounding that slight risk that we just talked about, and this continues all the way over to the Atlantic coast. We can see here, tornado. It's less than 2% in all areas today, but please, on any given day that there are thunderstorms, there is always the chance there could be at least one tornado. So always be prepared. We saw what happened last week in Maryland, where there was just a marginal risk of tornadoes, and it ended up being a tornado outbreak. Take a look at wind threat. That really is the greatest threat for today, and there is just a small hail threat as well within the area of that slight risk. Take a look at day 2 tomorrow. You can see as we get into the high plains, there is a slight risk of severe weather, and there's also a marginal risk that extends down into Texas, and a marginal risk across portions of the southeast as well. And then as we get to day 3, just a marginal risk in Texas. And of course, there are some more risk areas as we head into next week. We'll focus on that maybe tomorrow or the next day. Let's take a look at the 12Z HER, which just came in a little bit ago, and it's showing the current activity relatively well, and you can see here as we head into the afternoon across Arkansas and Tennessee, thunderstorms do start to develop, and this particular run got rather impressive. It organizes the thunderstorms. And we're going to switch to the southeast view here because you need to see this. And you can see here, thunderstorms get organized over Mississippi, and as they head into Alabama, look what happens here. It is suggesting that there could be a mesoscale convective system. Should that happen, storms would stay organized longer and exceed past the slight risk area, and the wind threat would be greater. You can see here, there is a bow echo being detected by the HER model. Now, it's not a guarantee that this model is going to be correct, but should things become more organized, look at this. Even near Atlanta area tonight, you could be dealing with some severe thunderstorms as this pushes east, and it even makes its way late overnight tonight into portions of South Carolina. Now, there's other models that say otherwise, that it's just going to be more so a scattering of thunderstorms along this boundary, so we'll have to watch what happens. Of course, with this, I will be tweeting about it on my climate page at Climate Data Report on X. Alright, we have to show you something else now, and that is this. There is still a moderate risk of excessive rainfall across portions of Missouri. I think that's going to be downgraded later in the day as the threat slowly diminishes. We also see there's a slight risk across portions of Texas, New Mexico, and Colorado of excessive rainfall today. You as well, let's go back to the HER for a moment. You as well will be seeing some severe thunderstorms this afternoon. Not anything impressive. It's a marginal risk, but a few storms could go severe. There could be some isolated hail or wind threat with this. It's enough that it warrants a marginal risk. And then as we head into tomorrow, we'll have to watch. Maybe some thunderstorms do get going in southern Texas, and a few of them could end up being severe. All right, moving on now. We do want to take a look at the longer range as we head into next week. We've been talking about things are going to get wet in Florida, and quite frankly, that's a good thing. Let's show you this first. Take a look here. Florida has been relatively dry as of late. You can see drought. It is an issue in Florida. Well, a big dent in that drought is coming, and quite frankly, it could end up being so much rain that it ends up being too much at one time. You can also see here across portions of Texas and the Four Corners region, drought conditions continue there, and even in the Pacific Northwest. Yes, there are some drought conditions, and I'm starting to watch this dry patch that's popping up in extreme southeast Pennsylvania, near Philadelphia, South Jersey, and maybe even portions of Delaware, more so southeast Pennsylvania and South Jersey. Modeling is suggesting it's going to be relatively dry there over the next couple of weeks, so we could see that area expand a little bit. All right, let's take a look at what happens in Florida. And here's the European model, and you can see here, the European model, I'm going to advance this up until Monday. You can see shower and thunderstorm activity, and there will be daily activity, but it's really going to start to increase as we head into Tuesday. Remember that boundary that is coming south that's going to provide the thunderstorms across portions of Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, even South Carolina and Tennessee? Well, that's kind of going to get hung up over Florida, and it's going to tap into some tropical moisture, and you'll see that here. We can see as we head into Tuesday morning, the moisture really starts to get going over Florida, and it enhances even greater from about Orlando on southward. You could be dealing with heavy rainfall, thunderstorms Tuesday, even into Wednesday. Here's Wednesday, and look at this. Wednesday afternoon. Watch what happens as we head to Thursday. You can see here, you really get going here, and this is going to persist even in the next weekend, and eventually this may push northwest, and the Florida Panhandle may eventually get in on this as well as we head into next weekend. You can see, look at this tropical flow. It just continues as we head into next weekend. How much rain are we talking? Take a look here at European rainfall estimates. You can see here, anywhere in the maroon color, that's 6+ inches of rain. Some parts of the Gulf Coast region of Florida, like Naples, you could be dealing anywhere from 6 to 10+ inches of rainfall. Let's take a look at the Weather Prediction Center and see how much rainfall they are expecting over the next 1 through 7 days. And look at this. They do have a 10 plus inch area across a large portion of southwestern Florida. So that is something we will have to watch. Also, over the next 1 through 7 days, you can see across the plains there will be some precipitation activity. Some of this is coming from thunderstorms that will be ongoing in portions of the northern plains. There's going to be a couple thunderstorm threats this week. And then there's also going to be a threat across portions of the Midwest as well later into next week. Now taking a look at the Climate Prediction Center for the next 6 to 10 days. And we can see the majority of the United States is going to be relatively above average, with exceptions to the Pacific Northwest. If you're up in Seattle or Portland, Oregon, well below average temperatures are expected for you, and above average precipitation, which is not a bad thing. You could use the rainfall up there. And here's that dry patch I was talking about in Pennsylvania. Yeah, next 2 weeks are looking very dry there. If you have plants, you might want to water them. California is also looking dry as well, above average in the southeast, and that's going to continue into the 8 to 14 day range as well. And 8 to 14 day temperature outlook is looking really warm in much of the country. Late next week, we're going to see some heat that builds into the north. Temperatures will get into 90s. A brief cool down next weekend until this comes into play the following week, where I think some places are going to have heat waves of 90 degrees, and then 8 to 14 day. That above average continues in the southeast, but below average in the northeast, and down the line, we'll have to keep an eye on this. It could get concerning. We could start seeing drought conditions pop up down the line, because modeling, long-range modeling, is not very wet at all for the northeast, and quite frankly, after next weekend's brief cool down, it's going to be hot as well, which means moisture evaporation will happen relatively quick. Taking a look at the west, below average precipitation. Pacific Northwest will be slightly above average. Alrighty, folks, that does it for the Sunday edition of the Climate Update. Key takeaway: very wet conditions coming in Florida. It could cause some flash flooding problems, as you're going to be getting a lot of rain in a short period of time. A general 6 to 10 inches of rain from about Orlando on southward. Miami, you're included. Naples, Florida, maybe Tampa. We'll have to see. There's going to be a sharp cutoff to the north before that transition back to the northwest actually does occur next weekend, but please be prepared. You're going to see a lot of rainfall in a very short period of time. Some of it will be out the course of the week, but some areas are going to see those high rainfall rate type downforce. Want to be informed of what's going on when I'm not doing videos? Climate Data Report is my page on X. Follow there, and of course, subscribe to this channel down below. Give my videos a thumbs up, hit that notification bell, share with anyone you know, leave your comments down below. I will see you all again next time. Until I see you again next time, have a fantastic Sunday afternoon and be weather aware. Thanks for watching.